What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host Josh, and we are here for a strictly transfers themed little stream. I'm sure you guys have been able to figure out by now exactly the 4 players that we're going to be talking about, but I'm a little bit excited. There's a decent chunk of Dortmund news today. I'm assuming you guys are wondering what they all are, and I'm also sorry for being a little bit late. That is my bad, but I appreciate you guys tuning in and waiting here with me, and hopefully you guys are doing well today. But yes, we have 4 people to talk to you about today, and one caught me a little bit off guard, and that's the Haaland news. We'll get into that, because I usually when I hear a Haaland news story, I just kind of like toss it aside, because we hear them every single day as Dortmund fans. It's a lot of the same. However, there is something a little bit different with this, so I will get into that soon. We got some information on Delaney as well. Halstenberg, the rumors are resurfacing a little bit, which is interesting, which will also touch a little bit on Schultz, a little bit on Berkey as well. And, of course, the right back. We are targeting a right back. But, again, a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks about this young man. Vagnoman is not... I don't know. The injuries he's had are very, very concerning. However, I don't know where else we would find the money. But let's get into the comments, see how you guys are doing today. And I guess right away, let me know what you think about our new potential right back signing, because he has a injury-riddled career so far. I'm going to bring him up maybe on Transfermarkt, just to give you guys an idea of how many injuries this young man has had. I need to find it, because someone sent this to me today, and it was concerning, and it should be concerning. See if I can find his injury history. Where is it? I don't remember where it was. I will find it. But he is only 20 years old, so a very, very young man. And once I'm able to somehow find it, injuries, I will share it with you, because here it is. Okay, so this is a player that we're looking for. Now, we all watched the game against Bayern, okay? We all know a right back is necessary. I know that Munez is coming back, but guess what? Injuries, suspensions, all this stuff can come down the line. We still have Emre Can, who could also play at right back, but Pasak got put in a position he shouldn't have been in. He had a very poor game, and with it, we got punished. And now we're, of course, being linked to potential right backs, but the young 20-year-old right back from Hamburg is rumored to be available at about 4 mil. So not a lot of money. We know that, but look at right here at the amount of injuries he has had. So starting back to 17-18, he had a knee inflammation, which put him out for 18 days. He had thigh problems that put him out for 13. He was put out for 51. He was put out for 153 days from a fractured foot. He had a tear, which put him out for 27 days, a double tear ligament for 26 days, a thigh muscle strain for 7, another torn muscle fiber for 28, and now he's out for, it says 3 days, so it's not a crazy amount with a torn tendon, but he looks already like a Band-Aid. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think about it, but it puts you under the impression, it's like, okay, well, I mean, one, he doesn't have a ton of experience in the Bundesliga. He's only 20 years old. There is an upside. He could potentially get better. But with Chan and with Meunier coming back, do we want to invest 4 million into a player when we could arguably spend a little bit more and get probably a better, safer option? It's confusing in the first one, but I'm going to dive in the comments and see how you guys are doing today. Hello, my man. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. The back line was the reason why Dortmund lost against Bayern. I agree with that. Bayern also pressed very well. And when they press on a back line that's as concerning as ours was, it put them under pressure, which led them to create mistakes, which ultimately let Bayern put it in the back of the net. There was definitely a gap in the back. There's no questioning that. We need these 2 signings ASAP. Halstenberg, as our defender, is not a left back, and that's as our right back, Delaney, 8 million money. Yeah, and Delaney is rumored for about 6-7 mil right now. And then we can compete as a team in the winter. We can go for Noni and St. Jude's. So I don't think, just to put your guys' perspective at edge here, we will not be signing players like Noni or St. Juice in the winter transfers. That will not happen. If we are spending money, it will be now. And it doesn't look like we have a whole bunch to spend. So British Empire, those players could potentially be targeted maybe next summer with some of the Haaland money, but there's no way we're going to dip into the winter transfer market unless, I mean, we're sitting in like, I don't know, 7th place and really struggling. But even so, I think it's very, very unlikely. Eric says, anyone actually watch Hamburg matches regularly? I have no idea what to expect from Vagnoman. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some highlights. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I've watched a ton of his games. But if anyone who actually watched him play a good chunk, feel free to put it in the chat. I've heard he's very highly rated. I've heard good things about him. He's rumored at 4 mil, which is fantastic. It's the injuries that put me into concern there. Max says, I'll take anything over Meunier and Paslak. Surely he can't be worse than them. Now, I'm holding my breath and I'm holding my excitement because I think that Meunier is going to come in and be better. I personally do. I think that the back four, once they get Guerrero back, once they get Hummels back, once they get Meunier back, will look drastically different than the back four that went at Bayern. I know Meunier still has a lot of question marks about him, but I mean he is proven. He's an upgrade to what we have. I don't know how this will be, but we'll have to see. Murray in a wheelchair would be better than Paslak. Oh. Okay, where's Josh? I was a little bit late. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry. Steve Sears says, hello, friends. How are you guys doing today? We have 4 topics to talk about today. We're on the first one. We're going to move on after this one over to Halstenberg, which will probably get intertwined a little bit. Then we'll address the Haaland rumors, which, again, like I've said, surprised me a little bit. And then we'll end it with Delaney. So that is the schedule we're trying to go on here. So I'll try to keep on that 10. So I will get to that question sooner rather than later. But British Empire says anyone over Paslak. But yeah, looking at the pros and benefits of Vagnoman is a couple things. Is one, how badly do we want to? It's a risk versus reward. If we keep what we have right now, Meunier and Chan are both coming back probably towards the end of August. So it's not very far. Yes, we lost the Super Cup, but in reality, as long as Meunier and Chan can stay fit, they're there. They're fine. But, like, the other side of the coin is that Chan isn't actually a right back. And that leaves, technically, Paslak as our backup right back because Murray is out for the season. So it's a risk. It's a little risk versus reward. Are you okay with, which I would be, I'd be fine playing Meunier and then Chan as long as they both stay healthy and fit all year long. I don't think we can keep putting positions into having Paslak on the pitch. I simply don't. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I mean, we still have Marius Wolf there as well. But if we're going to go for a right back, I feel like we should target someone with a little bit higher quality. This seems like a panic buy to me. We're going into the second Bundesliga for it. We're picking someone who's worth a couple mil. And on top of that, he's riddled with injuries. He's injured as we speak. So, I mean, for me, honestly, I'd wait it out and I'd just wait for Meunier to come back and start him. And then I would go for Chan. But I don't know. I have heard he is highly rated. However, I just don't see the massive upside. And we do still have Marius Wolf, which people do forget. But he's not an ideal right back in a back four. If anything, he's a right wing back. Paslak has potential. He's just young. Yeah, so Paslak is not that young. As far as I know, Paslak, it's not like he's 19 and has a huge upside to him. He's 23 years old. He's probably as good as he's going to get. He's not at Dortmund level. I don't think anyone is gonna say Paslak's a Dortmund level player. I think we primarily brought him in to play for our second team. He wanted to stay. That's why we didn't let him go. And he's getting put into a situation that I don't think he or us fans were quite ready for. Vagnoman in a wheelchair would be better than Paslak. I mean, I would take him. Like I said, I mean, honestly, at this point, if we're not gonna bring any other bodies in, I would be fine putting a little bit of money in a right back and hoping he becomes good. Dortmund are known for that. Dortmund loves to spend very strategically. We bring this, like, honestly, 4 mil. It's not a lot. Now we have another right back option. As long as he can stay healthy, I'm not against it. But we will roll on a little bit to our next topic, and that is Halstenberg. There has been rumors that we've reignited some interest in Halstenberg, which isn't surprising. Again, he can cover the center back position. He can cover a center back in a back three, and he can play left back. But with Schultz, A, being hard to probably flip, and B, he's actually not playing too bad for us, do we really need to go out and, again, spend 8 mil on Halstenberg? Why not go out and instead of getting these 2 targets, why not go for St. Just, who, again, I was told that is not available. But you guys get my point. There's probably another option out there instead of going for these 2 targets that we don't really need to go for someone for a little bit more high quality, or find a right back with a little bit more high quality. And that's 12 mil right there you could put into them instead of going for Halstenberg and Vagnoman. So that's just my opinion, but I'll see what you guys are saying. I'm happy with any right back because I can't get much worse than Paslak. And that's, I mean, I'd be happy, like I said, I'd be happy with any right back if we don't invest elsewhere. But if we have more money, like I said, we've got a rumored 4 million target, we've got a rumored 8 million target with Halstenberg. Do the math, that's 12 mil. Find a right back for 12 mil and go for that right back. And not this kid who again, isn't proven at this level. And honestly, when Meunier comes in, will probably sit on the bench and also injury prone. It seems like an iffy one to me, but if the money's not there and we only got, say, 4-ish mil to spend, then fine. Bring in a right back, I will not complain. I hope to God we sign a right back, center back, and nearly smash my TV because of the mistakes we made last game. From Ajax would be one hell of a signing. He would be. The money will be key. Ariozola from Real Madrid, someone in the chat a while ago put him as an actual shout. Excellent shout. And when you look at a right back signing, someone who Borussia Dortmund could realistically bring in, it has to be on specific terms. It has to be on a specific way of bringing him in, which more than likely is going to be a loan deal. And it has to be someone who, A, wants to come. Ariozola has got experience in the Bundesliga. He went there to Bayern. He's not going to play at Madrid. Vasquez has turned into this crazy crazy right back, along with Carvajal. That is a transfer that makes perfect sense for both parties, and I bet you could get done. However, going out and dropping 15, 20, that's where it becomes a little more unrealistic, which is why we're being linked with the type of right backs we are right now. Hi, Josh. A lot of information today, I noticed. What do you think we will sign someone for defense? I personally do. If you guys are asking for my gut decision, or my gut, which, again, take it as what you will. I'm not a fortune teller. I bet you we bring in a defensive target. It will more than likely be... It's hard for me to see us bringing in Halstenberg if we keep Nico. If Nico goes, I can see us bringing in Halstenberg and Vagnoman. I think that would, A, address a little bit of the right-hand side with a very cheap signing, as well as Halstenberg, which adds to your center backs, and now a backup left back. However, I do not think that Nico will leave this transfer window, which also means that Halstenberg probably won't come in. Now, I could see us maybe spending it all on a right back or spending it all on a center back. But I bet you when Delaney is sold, one defensive player comes in. I just can't tell you exactly which player that is going to be. But we can get on over to a little bit now after my boy here. Josh, can you tell me why we haven't signed St. Just yet? From the rumors and some of the people I've talked to, it's that Mainz aren't keen to sell, and they put up his transfer value a little bit more than what Dortmund are willing to go at because they just wanted to price him out. That is the last I've heard of it. Things can change, but that is the last I've heard of it, and that's why the St. Just rumors have completely died out, and I haven't heard them, honestly, in a while. But Chris said Madrid is the best club in the world. Is Real over 150 mil this season? Okay, I will get into the Haaland one quickly. So, for you guys who don't know, personal terms do and don't mean a lot. And when I say that, personal terms can be agreed with multiple people. So, I do believe Haaland has agreed personal terms with Madrid, which means, for example, if this release clause is 100% legitimate next year, Madrid go in there and they spend and they buy that release clause for 75 mil, personal terms are agreed, there's nothing we can do, Haaland walks out the door. However, we don't know the 100% details behind what this transfer release clause is, and we don't know that Haaland will agree to it. He could agree different deals with different teams. It doesn't mean a whole lot. However, I was talking to a couple of sources that say, and I asked them what's their gut say, and their gut was telling them they see Haaland at Madrid next summer, which I found very, very interesting. Because this rumor was always kind of there, but I always kind of thought that Madrid was Mbappe's territory. So it is a little nerve-wracking. That's why I wanted to talk about it in the stream today, is because I just hear a Haaland rumor and I just flush it out. Because honestly, most of the time, it means nothing to me. This is the first one I've heard in a while that's got me thinking maybe Madrid. Maybe Madrid. But, and as for Madrid's debt, their debt is a lot. It's not quite Barca's, but it comes with their new stadium. They took a long-term debt, so they'll have probably 30 mil they pay each year. So I'd still, for next summer, 75 mil, I don't see that being an issue for them. In case anyone was wondering about the debt situation there at Madrid. We ain't getting anybody else, plus Berkey and Wolf will always going to leave unless Schultz leaves. We can get Halstenberg. Also, if Delaney leaves, we can probably get a center back. I do agree with you. That's why I was saying, I do see us getting a defensive target because I do see Delaney leaving. And now the update, guys, on Thomas Delaney is that Dortmund are asking for about 7 mil from Sevilla. Sevilla have offered 6. That tells me this deal is right close to being done. It seems like personal terms, again, were already agreed upon. All that matters now is finding some common ground between the two clubs. And it came out today. 7 mil is the asking price for Dortmund. Not a lot of money. And Sevilla are offering 6. There's no way that 1 mil will not get closing the gap. So Dortmund will get a little money in. And I assume it's going to get reinvested in a center back or right back. So, yeah, I agree. Delaney comes in, and then we maybe sign a right back, maybe sign a center back. I don't see Halstenberg coming in unless Schultz leaves. So that is my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of Berkey, guys, kind of bad news. Atletico have sent their backup keeper to Lille and then brought in Benjamin Lecomte from Monaco. So there's a huge rumor that Berkey was supposed to be the backup keeper for Oblak at Atletico this year. They've went elsewhere. They went to Monaco. Monaco brought in Nubel, and Benjamin Lecomte has now joined Atletico. So I don't know where Berkey can go now. I thought Atletico would have been the ones to come in and kind of snap him up, but it seems like we may have Berkey for the time being because Atletico have now filled their backup keeper position. I think Vagnoman will be the next Jeremy. Yeah, I'm not going to bank on the fact that he's going to be the next Piszczek, but he's going to be a body. He'll probably be an improvement on Paslak, and if Meunier is not doing it, he could maybe put in a run for his money. I don't have no issue targeting him. He is very highly rated. It's just injuries really bug me because he's had a lot of them at a really young age. But obviously Dortmund sees something in him. I don't know. It's almost on that line whether it's a panic buy or it's legitimate. And if they've been tracking him for some time, that makes me feel better. But if this is a reaction to Paslak's performance in the Super Cup, that's what gets me a little bit nervous because clearly we don't have any money to spend. So dropping 4 million on a target that may not fit the bill, to me, isn't ideal. But in the chat, guys, let me know right now. And also, be sure to drop a like if you're joining us. Of course, subscribe if you guys are new. But in the chat right now, put a W or put an L of whether you think we should target Vagnoman. The young Hamburg youngster. I'm assuming a lot of you guys, no matter what, will put a W because you just want somebody. But I'm genuinely curious to see what you guys want to think. W for yes, sign him no matter what. Or L, wait, and maybe see if there's other targets. Because I have a feeling where a lot of you guys are going to go. But I do hope you guys are doing well today. And yeah, got a good chunk to talk about today. But I've addressed all 4 right now. And now I'm just going to hit up the comments for the rest of the stream. Chan is terrible at having the ball for 2 seconds. A little bit better than Paslak. I do disagree with you there, though, my man. I agree with you that Chan can be a liability when playing in the middle of the park. If he's playing as a CDM or in a back 4, scares the crap out of me. I don't mind Chan as a right back in a back 4. I really don't. He's very quick. He's athletic. He keeps him to the outside, keeps him away from the danger. I don't think honestly, I think it's his ideal situation for us to have Chan at right back. But for my best 11s, Chan doesn't get in there. But if I'm going to play him, I'm going to play him at right back, to be honest. It would be crazy if we get both. I see us getting Nagelsmann. I see us getting Halstenberg and Vagnoman if Schultz leaves. But I don't think anyone is going to come and pick up Schultz unless Dortmund loan him out, which again doesn't help us because we need money. Can't wait to see our full team back. Yeah, and we're getting 5 of our players back, guys, at the end of August. We get Chan back. We get Hummels back. We get Meunier back, Brandt back, and Guerrero back. 5 pretty solid players coming back at the end of August. I don't think Dortmund can sign a player without selling Schultz Berkey. Well, Delaney's the big one. Delaney's the big one who's going to go out the door. Delaney more than likely is going to go out the door, which will lead us to probably signing a defensive target. But I do agree, if we're going to say sign a right back and Halstenberg, for example, we may need to see Schultz or Berkey or someone else get going as well. British Empire says, what if Mooney gets injured? And I think that's the number one reason why we're about to roll on to a lot of W's here. Remember Jeremy Tolan? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We need Lacroix. We all wish, but we can't even come close to affording him. We could have gotten Dumfries, and this is a fair point. For example, guys, if we go out there and spend 4 mil here, 8 mil here, maybe a couple mil, I don't know. Say we spend almost 12 to 15 mil. That's what Dumfries costs. So I don't know what the math is. Maybe obviously we had to sell before buying and we just obviously maybe got priced out. Maybe Dumfries saw a big opportunity at Inter, seeing what they did last year and wanted to go there. I take your point, but obviously there was something that ruled Dortmund out of the race, but it would have been nice. What do you think about Leicester having 3 right backs? Yeah, James Justin, Ricardo Pereira. I mean, getting one on loan would be ideal. I'm not sure exactly. Castan can play on both sides. And honestly, so can Justin, which is, I don't know their left back depth, but I'm assuming one of them slides over there. But more than likely, that wouldn't be a scenario. I wouldn't be against it. I would take Ricardo Pereira. I would take probably any of the 3 in a heartbeat, but more than likely they're not available, and we won't be able to get them. He's already injured. Yep, injury says 3 days. So I don't know how much. I mean, I don't think we can target him without him being somewhat healthy. You got to pass a medical to get the deal done anyways. Passlack should go to Mainz or Augsburg. I'd give Wolf a chance. I mean, honestly, going into next game, I would start Wolf over Passlack at right back, even though I don't think we will. Oh, this is what I've been shouting out all day. Hear me out. BVB sign Buchanan, make him right back. I've been tweeting Dortmund periodically and just saying, hey guys, Buchanan can play right back, can play right wing back, can play as a winger. Guess what? We're low on wingers. We're low on fullbacks. He is Canadian and he's perfect, but I don't see it happening. But Wolf is the worst player I've ever seen. British Empire, who do you rather start at right back? And you have to answer. I need one or the other. Wolf or Passlack? People said, let's give Passlack a chance. He can't be worse than Meunier. Now they want us to sign Hamburg guy whose thighs are made of breadsticks, saying he can't be worse than Meunier and Passlack. I mean, again, guys, it doesn't sound like we're in a win-win situation whatsoever. I take your points, guys. I do. I take your guys' points. Why couldn't we go on and sign someone like Dumfries? I agree. He would have come in and he would have done a job. He would have fit right in and he would have blown the opposition, the extra, honestly, any competition away from us. He would have been fine. Something is going on here. And like I said, I bet you Dortmund are betting on the fact that Meunier is going to have a bounce-back year. They can't flip him. He did half decent in the Euros. That's what they're banking on. But he's injured right now. And honestly, at this point, it seems what we have to bank on as well. If Vagnoman comes in, it is to be a backup, but probably a little superior backup with a little bit more potential than Passlack. You guys seen the awful copy? Yeah. All Puma third kits have bled the eyes here. If we spend at least 50 million on our defense, we win the league. I don't care. It's a fair shout. We just don't have 50 million to spend. Schultz looked half decent in the first 2 games. I do agree with you, and it's why I don't think, 1, Schultz will be sold, and 2, I don't think anyone will come in for him. Ariozola is actually a good shout, maybe on loan with option to buy. It's exactly what I was thinking. It is an excellent shout, and it's like I said, at Madrid, there's 2 other right backs in front of him, and he's not going to get minutes. Why not? You have experience in the Bundesliga. You played for Bayern. Come in on loan at Dortmund. Have an option to buy. Have an opportunity to push Meunier for a starting spot. To me, it all makes sense, but again, I haven't heard any rumors of it. Wish we'd have bought Dumfries. Yes, 13 million is a lot, but it's a quality player. 13 million for Dumfries is a bargain. We missed out there. I agree with you there. Simply tell Madrid to stop. I'm hoping so. Why would Haaland want to go to a Finnish league such as La Liga? I'm assuming maybe because Mbappe, Haaland, the next 2, Ronaldo and Messi's, might be heading there. But this is the first link I'm genuinely curious about, because it sounds like there's some legitimacy behind it. He should go to Man United and link up with Sancho. I don't think he's going to go to United. How is Delaney worth so low? He's worth so low because he's on an expiring contract, and he's made it known that he wants out. So Dortmund don't have much negotiating power here. They don't. Sevilla, no. Well, they're like, one, the player wants out, and two, his contract's expiring. He's also 29. I would have liked to see get closer to 10. If we were able to get 7, it's not the worst thing, but it's still an L. But yeah, we would have loved to have Dumfries. The problem with players like Haaland, Malen, and Dumfries is that they have Mino Raiola as their agent. Yeah, he's a killer. He's a killer. That's for sure. But there's got to be other options out there. Julian Araujo from LA Galaxy is not a bad idea. I mean, he's a fantastic young player. He's already had links to Europe. But I mean, if I'm being completely realistic, I have not heard it's not a rumor, but I have not heard a more legitimate shout than Ardiozola. There's so many reasons why this fits what Dortmund would do. It would be a loan. Madrid and Dortmund have a great connection. We've seen it in the past. He can do a job. He's got the Bundesliga experience. And he costs nothing. It's a loan deal. Option to buy, it's in there. Fine. Throw it in for 10, 15 mil. Dortmund may not take it up, but it's just, it's so hard. It is so hard. Malen should start against Freiburg. I absolutely agree. He better start. I don't think Mukuku's quite ready for this yet. It was apparent in the Bayern game. I didn't think he was awful out there, but I think Malen would do a lot better, and I'd like to see him start at the weekend. Jorge says a W. This is for whether we should sign Vagnoman or if we should wait it out. We got a W, an L, a W, an L. We're pretty even. Oh, a bunch of L's. W, L. You guys are pretty 50-50. I think actually the L's are a little bit more, man. Career mode guys will say W. Zagadou is still out for a few more months. Eric, he is not supposed to come back until October. Wait for Meunier and then Pedro Scally from Gladbach after a season in the Bundesliga. Well, we have a tendency to go after Gladbach players, so you never know. We should target Baku next summer, to be honest. We should. We absolutely should. We should target Buchanan this year. I watch him so much. I know he's Canadian, and I'm probably a little biased, guys, but if you're looking at Dortmund, give me two positions we're desperately need. Right back, winger. Guess what this kid can play? Right back, winger, even right wing back. He's played left wing back. He's available for 4 mil. I mean, and he's not injury prone. And he scored a banger last night. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Scally's a left back, isn't he? He's actually a right back, but he can play as a left back as well. I miss Guerrero as well, but end of August, guys, he'll be coming back. Max Malen just got here. Give him some time. Well, hopefully he'll have a blistering game on the weekend. That's what I'm really hoping for. Timber from Ajax would also be a good option since he can cover his right back and center backs. He is young. Just a question of how much Ajax value him. Marvin, it's a great option. I absolutely agree. I think he would realistically cover every scenario Dortmund would want. Can play as a center back. Can play as a right back. Young. Fits the profile. But there's also one big downside. We can't afford him. And that's what it comes down to, which is why we're being linked with the type of fullback, with no disrespect to Vagnoman right now, but it's just not up to par. He's not going to be crazy amount better to Paslak, but he's younger, and he will be better. Let's not kid ourselves. He will be better than Paslak, but we don't know what we're getting out of him. Since this is next summer without Delaney and Witsel, do you think Dortmund will get a midfielder? Neuhaus. I think we will get a midfielder, yes. I do not think it will be Neuhaus, no. St. Just would have been covered for both right back and center back. He would have, again, I mean, he'd have been no different there. I've said this so many times on the channel. St. Just would have been no different at right back than Chan. He's not a right back. St. Just is a center back. Emre Can has had some decent games at Dortmund for the right back position. I think you can use him there from time to time. I think you can use St. Just there from time to time, but you don't rely on him there for the entirety of a season because he's never proven he can do it. Max says, I am Dutch. I watch a bunch of PSVs. Madueka is lighting it up. Would you rather him over Malen? But we have Malen. I would have rathered him over Malen. Maybe I knew he wasn't going to come. I talked to a few sources from there, and they said that there's no way he's going to move on yet. He walked by clubs like United when he left Tottenham. He wants minutes. He wants guaranteed minutes. He knows he's getting that at PSV, and guess what? He's lighting it up. He probably made the right choice. Because look at Malen, man. Malen, arguably, you could say he's a little bit further ahead in his development than Noni is, and he's still not starting for Dortmund right away. And Noni's had, I'm pretty sure he scored in almost every game this year so far for PSV. He's looked incredible. They switch up their shape to a 4-2-3-1. He's playing as a right attacking mid. All good things for him. I'd rather start Phil Jones than Passlack. Oh, man. The fact Passlack was supposed to leave, if it wasn't for Murray injury, tells you everything. I don't think he was ever supposed to leave, but we re-signed him so we could play him as our U23s. I think that's where a lot of his minutes were supposed to go. He was happy staying. Loan in Emerson Royale because Barca is willing to sell him already. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I think that Barca more than likely would look for money, but I don't know, because I heard that too. They have Dest, they have Sergio Roberto who can play there. Emerson, they use their option to buy him for Real Betis, and now they already want to flip him. So more than likely they're going to want money, unless it's an obligation to buy, which I don't think Dortmund would do. Matt said, maybe it's the wishful American me, but I think Chris Richards would be great signing. Young, high potential, ball-carrying center back who can cover it right back if needed, available for 10 mil. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. I'm so torn on what I think we need more. Do I want to go out and buy if Dortmund bought Chris Richards, but I don't think we will. I don't think we could ever find a deal with Bayern to bring him in. But if we did, I'm torn if I want a player like Chris Richards who's clearly a center back, or if I'd rather someone who is clearly a right back. And I don't know. And I don't know if Chris Richards is quite my long-term fix. If we got him in on loan this year and could test him out and see where he would fit in this squad, yeah, absolutely, because he can cover both. But to invest 10 mil in him, I wouldn't do it. Ricardo Pereira is out of the price range. Yes, he is. It's a good option from AZ, but not sure how much he would cost. And that is the biggest thing, guys. I love all the rumors that we come up with here because there are some good ones. And like I said, huge shout out to the viewer who said Ariozola, because it is a fit. It is a realistic one. I could legitimately see it happen. I'm not saying it will because I haven't heard anything about it, but that is the exact type of signing we can get. Ariozola is not highly rated by any stretch. He plays for Madrid, yes. He had a short turn at Bayern, yes. But he is kind of he's kind of at his ceiling. I don't think he's going to get a crazy amount better. He's got no way he's going to find game time at Madrid this year. Madrid are keen to get him off. We have a great relationship with them, and he would be coverage. And honestly, if Ariozola came in tomorrow, I would start him every game. And we could probably get him on loan. It seems like a very obvious pick. But I don't know. I just haven't heard anything of it. Why did Piszczek retire? Oh, man. I know. Spurs lost to some team. They lost to my boy Eustáquio, Pacos de Ferreira from the Portuguese league. And I think that's hilarious. Hopefully someone will come up and snap up my Canadian man. But yeah, that's funny. By buying Chris Richards would be handling Bayern the money Sabitzer, so no. Yeah, I get the idea, and I think if it was a loan deal, absolutely, which Jorge is saying. Loan, yeah. Loan, I would see. Buying, no. Josh, who would you rather have taken, Malen or Dumfries? I would have taken Dumfries. I don't know, guys. I don't know, because, one, if we would have taken Dumfries, who would we have signed as Sancho's replacement? And that's where the question marks come in, because technically we have Meunier. There's no unbelievable reason to think that Meunier won't be half decent this year. I'm not saying he's going to be spectacular, but no reason to think he won't be half decent. He could have a bounce back year, but we won't have a replacement for Sancho. Malen has an opportunity, hopefully at the weekend, to play alongside Haaland, to get an opportunity to get fit, get in, get healthy, have some fun, and score some goals. And if he does, great. We'll have some firepower up front. We'll get our back line back in order. We're missing Guerrero. We're missing Hummels. We're missing Meunier. It's not all that's on the wall. The biggest takeaway was that Passlack isn't ready for this level, and it showed. That is the biggest takeaway. The back was falling apart. It was holding on by duct tape, but that's not our back four. That's not what it looks like. And when Chan's back, there's your coverage at right back when needed. When Guerrero's back, you have Nico. Your center backs, you have Akanji, you have Hummels. It'd be nice to then maybe invest in maybe a center back / right back. It's a lot of assumptions, but we don't have any firepower up front, and I'm happy. So I would probably still say Malen, but I really do get your point. I really do get your point. How about we bump up Collins, the first squad, very promising defender. I don't think Collins will get many looks. He's injured right now, is what I know. So yes, he is still injured. So I don't see him coming anytime soon. Yes, Collins is injured. Josh, you need to hear me out. Spend 50 mil on our defense. It would be a top team. Our attack is already good. It'd be amazing defenders. 40, 50 mil. Basically win everything. I mean, I'm hearing you out, my man. Would love to spend 50 mil. But considering we're targeting a 4 million right back and not even sure if we're ready to pull the trigger yet, I don't think that's realistic. I honestly predict, if no one else goes out beside Delaney, I predict one signing at the back costing between 5 and the absolute most 10 mil. But it's not looking like it. It's not looking like it. Like, it's going to be a struggle. But I'd love to see at least some player come in at the back with the Delaney money. Why is everyone here suggesting American players? We got a lot of American fan bases. We do. We got some U.S. men's national team fans in here. And to be fair, American players have a massive upside. One, a lot of them are killing it in leagues around the world. A lot of top 5 leagues. And 2, they bring in an audience. They do. I mean, Weston McKennie, when he made that move to Juve, a stroke of genius. It really was. And a lot of them are going in there. I mean, Julian Araujo, who's now technically Mexican, I would take him in a heartbeat. Where do you think Tejan will transfer to? Augsburg, Freiburg? I think Club Brugge is actually out for him now. But I mean, if I could fly to Dortmund right now, and if I have any power in the Dortmund community, and there's a slight little chance that they're listening to me, check out Buchanan. You want to give Marco Rose an opportunity to play in a 4-2-3-1? You want to play in a 3-4-3? You want to play even in a back 4? He can play all 3 positions, and guess what? He costs 4 mil. And then on the marketing's perspective, guess what? You brought a Canadian, and the last Canadian who came over to the Bundesliga was Alphonso Davies, and I think he did pretty decent so far. So it is, again, just like Ariozola, it's such a no-brainer for Dortmund. It is one of the signings that they make. They go for these risky signings, and he hits all the areas. But again, I'm Canadian. I'm very biased about it. But I don't know. I would prefer Ariozola on a loan than Vagnoman, man. I really would. But we will see. We will see. Reyna is a starter, no question. He is. The way that Gio's playing, he's a starter 100%. More than likely, we're going to start playing the 4-1-2-1-2 or a 4-2-3-1. Because Marco Rosa has shown that Royce can be pushed out to left attacking mid. We can have Gio through the middle. Hopefully Hazard's healthy. That gives you your right attacking mid. That's your 4-2-3-1. Or as a 4-1-2-1-2, you got Gio as your 8, Royce as your 10, and then hopefully Malen and Haaland up front. Boateng hasn't signed anywhere yet, has he? I mean, I would take Boateng on a free. Why not? But I know he won't come here. But that's funny. If RB could not qualify for Champions League next year or Klosterman again, White, I would take both so badly. I would take both. They'd be very expensive. I heard Fabrizio gets his rumors out of the JJD TV live chat. Yeah, I don't know about that. If you guys ever listen to Fabrizio, just toss my name in there. Just be like, go on Josh's channel. Because I would love to try to get Fabrizio on. He does do a ton of work on other content creators' channels. So I haven't reached out or tried to reach out to Fabrizio yet. But I would love to just somehow try to get him on here. I think it'd be a big flex for us, the channel here. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm quite at that level to be able to be like, hey, Fabrizio, I need you. Come do me a favor. Meunier would have made much more mistakes than Passlack against Bayern. Don't remember the City giveaway. I disagree, man. I do. I do take your point. I haven't seen a performance like Passlack's in some time. I think, and I get that Meunier's made mistakes in the past. I do, but he's played at this level. He's played at the level of PSG. He's played at the level of Belgium. He's been at World Cups, been in the Champions League, winning silverware. I would trust him way more in a game against Bayern than Passlack. Passlack honestly, he looked a little terrified out there. I'm not gonna lie. But that I know there's a big vendetta against all of our right backs, but I'm still holding true that I think Meunier will have a big impact once he comes back, man. I really do. Hi, Josh. Hope you're doing well. I really hope that we sign a right back. It was a lot of pain to see Passlack getting bullied from Davies Gnabry. I think Meunier can step up, but we need a backup. And I agree with you. I do. And if we don't sign Halstenberg, If we don't, we keep Nico, which is looking more likely. Please take the Delaney money, take any money we have, and try to find a right back / center back option. Someone similar to Halstenberg, but for the other side. Because that way, I mean, if he strides at a right back, then great. You push Meunier out. And if not, you have coverage for the center back. That is what I'm begging for. If I only had one signing to make, one singular signing, it would be someone out there between probably 8 and 10 mil who can play as a right back, play as a center back, or get someone in on loan. I mean, that's exactly what I would look for, and I agree with you because there is a chance Meunier will do fine. I want some Mexican players in Dortmund. Great fan base, can bring in a lot of revenue. Cordova, man, I absolutely loved watching him at the Olympics. I would take him at Dortmund maybe next season when some of our midfielders go out. If Witsel leaves, I mean, he's not really a CDM, but I really, really enjoyed watching him. Very talented kid. I don't know. The Mexicans don't usually take off. A lot of the talented ones stay at their at Liga Mexi, and where we're starting to see it in the U.S., most of them are trying to take that leap. But yeah, there's a few Mexicans out there that I would like to take, but Cordova's one that comes to mind. He's such a talented. I really enjoy watching him. Our game against Frankfurt showed that we aren't exactly crying out for a Sancho replacement. We could bring it up Knauf to share the Sancho Bunder, the reasoning to Dumfries over Mullen. And that is totally, totally fair, my man. That is totally fair. I respect that answer in a heartbeat. I do. I'm just banking. I'm hoping that Mullen's going to have a good season. A good season from me for him would be 10 goals. I know it's not a lot, but he's not getting in right away. He's got big shoes to fill. If we can get 10 goals on top of Haaland's 30, that's a good season for me. Eustachio just won against Tottenham. Well, hopefully Tottenham will sign him. Hopefully somebody will sign him. And hopefully Dortmund will sign Buchanan, because I'm preaching to the choir here. Josh for new Dortmund scout. Always open, Dortmund. Always open. You know that. But I don't have that kind of pull, man. I don't have that kind of pull. I'm more of a community guy. I like to talk with you guys. If they ever heard me, I mean, maybe. But I mean, come on, Buchanan for the branding and for the versatility, and that he's just getting better and better. It just Dumfries or Buchanan. I mean, for me personally, I would take Buchanan, but in reality, I'd have took a player like Dumfries like that. I'd take Buchanan like that too, but if I had the choice, I mean, well, if I had the choice, I had the realistic choice, I would take Buchanan. I'm Canadian. I would die. I would love it. But most Dortmund fans would take Dumfries, and rightfully so. Josh, you really wanted Davies versus Buchanan, right? Would die for it. But I don't know. You'll have to pay for Brizio, and then you'll do a show. I've heard I probably would if he answered me. But I do hear he does do a good chunk of stuff for free. I do. It all depends on, I guess, how he's feeling or what he decides to do. But Fabrizio is known for being pretty generous that way. I'm sure obviously a lot of people do pay him, but more than likely, it won't happen. But I'm not Canadian, but Tejan's really good. He has pace. He's really good against Mexico. And he's versatile. He's a winger. He's a fullback. He's a wingback. Dortmund could utilize him down that right-hand side. And he's $4 million. That's it. Costs nothing. But again, my Canadian's coming in a little bit too much. A little bit too much right now. But when I hear us getting linked to players for $4 million, that honestly, I rate Tejan so much more. It just doesn't make any sense. Eustachio, Buchanan should get as much hype as Davies and David in the Canadian men's national team community. I think that's fair, man. Both of them are ballers. Hopefully Eustachio, I didn't see his game today against Tottenham. I don't know if anyone did. Give me a rating if you guys watched the Tottenham game. How'd he do? Because hopefully he gets a little attention and gets a move. Because he, more so than Buchanan, needs out. Buchanan is crazy from an American. There we go. There's a good amount of respect, man. Good amount of respect. Could be. Oh, where are we? 2019 transfer window was bad. By the way, Schultz, Brandt, Hazard looked good at the time, but none have looked their price tag. Yeah, I agree. Hazard has looked the best in my opinion. Injuries still doesn't justify that price tag. Brandt has been a real hit or miss, and Schultz probably arguably the poorest, but Brandt will come back so much better and stronger. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think with that COVID, on top of the fact that he was already a bubble player, I think Gio just took his spot. But he's gonna have a lot of big opportunities to hopefully take a spot this year. But in my opinion, Gio's got it down. Meunier does make a lot of mistakes, but he is strong physically and good on one-on-one battles. His passing isn't the best. I agree with that. Again, I've said it a lot with even Passlack and Schultz. It applies to Meunier as well. Decent getting up the pitch. Decent tracking back. It's the final ball. Their quality has just disappeared when they come to Dortmund, man. Dumfries not even picked by Haaland by Van Gaal. Oh, that's awful, man. That is just awful. Yes, we do miss Hakimi. We're all pretty bummed, I'm not going to lie. I think Buchanan would actually really adapt the Bundesliga well like Davies did. I agree. And honestly, I think Buchanan will go to the Bundesliga. I hope he goes to Freiburg, actually. The two teams that are linked with him is Augsburg and Freiburg. And guys, if you've watched either, I don't want to see him in Augsburg. No chance. I think they're going to have a terrible season this year, and they play the ugliest type of football. So hopefully he goes to Freiburg if he makes that jump over to the Bundesliga. I remember before we finished last season, everyone was saying that they're going to fix the defense, but my guess is the same players, the same mistakes, and the same old BVB. My bad. I know, but man, if you want to take a couple big takeaways, is one, Bayern did not look that good to me, and two, we were missing our entire back line. So there is still, like, that game was open. We had big chances. Marco Reus's comes into mind. It could have been a different game and put that in the back of the net. Our defense coughed it up. They pressed us well. They took their opportunities. It's a super cup. It doesn't make a whole difference, but we need our players back ASAP, and preferably another signing in the back. And I still think there's a good chance we'll have a good season this year. I really do. I don't take too much from that. Well, Kanji's amazing. He had an off game against Bayern. Schultz played well. Hummels is out, and we don't have a right back. Well said. Sometimes I feel I'm in a Buchanan cult, and I don't dislike it. We're Team Buchanan here, man. Meunier, I think, still needs to adapt and defend a lot more. Guerrero already adds some firepower in the attack. That's fair. Since his national team is more attacking position than anywhere else, I do agree with that. I think if anything, Meunier should. Well, it's hard. I do think Meunier needs to up his defensive game clearly, but even going forward, Meunier is quite poor as well. You usually see things played down the left-hand side with Sancho and Guerrero, and why wouldn't you? I mean, really? I would like to see, honestly, Meunier's entire game just take that step, because I do think there's a player in there. I just don't think he's fit this squad quite yet, man. Ruben Vargas is goated. He's a good young player. I don't think he would fit Dortmund overly well, because it's just not a position we're desperate in right now. He's more of a outside midfielder. Then he can probably play as a winger attacking mid, but if we sign someone, we need a center back or right back. That's for sure. One thing we should not forget that Akanji is a changed man. Apart from his mistake against Bayern, he looked class in the Euros. I agree. Akanji's going to be a huge part this year. It's a shame that he had a huge mistake, but we improved our goalkeeper, though, so that's not the same. We had a chance beating Bayern last season. We did. And honestly, we had a chance beating him in the Super Cup. We just did not take our chances. Vargas is half decent, no Dortmund standard, by the way. I agree with that. Who does Tajon Buchanan play like if you're going to compare him to someone? I mean, it's hard for me. He looks just like Leroy Sané, if I'm being completely honest. And honestly, he plays a little bit like Leroy Sané as well. As soon as I saw the pace, as soon as I saw honestly, just his looks, a very informed Leroy Sané is what Buchanan reminded me of. But he's also got a defensive side to his game, which makes him very unique. Played as a left wing back for Canada. He can play as a right back, plays a right mid, and can play as a right or left attacking mid. He's honestly a real baller, and would fit a lot of the needs Dortmund need, man. So, you were right about Jesse Marsch. The fact checker comes back in. Yeah, like I said, I do think Leipzig will still finish third. I think they'll have a fine year. I just think Jesse Marsch was going to have a more challenging adaptation to the league than someone like Marco Rosa. But I wouldn't sleep on Leipzig quite yet. But I did say that. No, I'll take it. I always like to be right. Yes, Meunier's final ball is his weakness. That is correct. Meunier is strong when partnered with a good winger. Arguably, depends. Because I remember when Sancho was on that right-hand side, he was miserable. He was used to having someone like Hakimi. Meunier was just not that player. He got moved over to Guerrero. Those two found each other out and did incredible. I do take your point, but there's a big example there as to why he didn't work out with Sancho, because Sancho was expecting someone who played a little bit like Hakimi, and Meunier was just a step behind that type of quality. But Meunier did well getting up the pitch, did as well getting in positions to put the ball in, and his final ball was simply poor. You could make a video about your predicted Canadian of September camp for World Cup. I was thinking about doing that. I might try to get a video like that up next week because it's coming up. September's coming up quickly. But that would be a fun one. What I don't like is that every window we tend to focus on the forward purchases and neglect our defensive problems. That's fair, and that is true. Josh, you're way behind in comments, bro. I know. You guys have just been killing it today. You've just been killing it. I feel like this Buchanan guy is good. Never heard of him before this stream, but I trust Josh's opinion. I'm Canadian, so again, a lot of bias behind Buchanan, but I mean, the guy is good. Go watch some highlights videos. I think he's good. I think if you're gonna, and the reason I'm talking him up is because we're being linked right now with a right back from the Bundesliga 2 who is riddled with injuries for $4 million. This kid came off in a performance in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which European fans can think what they want of the Gold Cup. It is still a strong competition. He was the young player of the tournament. He's 22. He's versatile. And honestly, like I said, whether you like it or not, clubs are a business. And the U.S. men's national team are taking advantage of that because every time someone signs a U.S. men's national team player, you got about, I don't know how many, but there's 360 million people living in that country. You get a lot of looks. Canada's a growing market as well. And guess what? We already have Alphonso Davies in the Bundesliga, and he's done incredible. Buchanan fits exactly what we need. It just fits. But again, I'm very biased. In reality, someone like Ariozola is who Dortmund should look at if they're not going to listen to me and go for Buchanan. Crépeau or Borjan for the World Cup qualifiers? I'd stick with Borjan, and I think that they will stick with Borjan, but Crépeau did incredible at the Gold Cup and will probably be the starter once Borjan kind of comes down and retire, or kind of takes a step back because he's getting older. Do you think Dortmund sometimes struggles because they want to score in a fancy way instead of destroying the keeper's hand? Not Haaland. That used to be an issue when we played without Haaland, yes. But as a Revs fan, I can vote for Josh. Attaboy. Buchanan is what Dortmund needs. I like it. Good. As a New York City fan, I was saddened to see the Revs won and how Buchanan was so good yesterday. See, I'm not just biased because I'm Canadian. There's a lot of U.S. men's national team fans talk up Buchanan pretty heavily as well. But just looking at what Dortmund needs, it would be ideal. You would have an answer. You could play Buchanan anywhere up top. You can play him at the back. You can play him as a left wing back, right wing back. It just, for $4 million, why not, Dortmund? Why not? It's a huge risk reward that Dortmund, that's a type of player that they are similar to. However, I heard because he's 22, that has turned some clubs away. But that was the issue at the end of the Favre era. Yes, it was, man. I feel really bad that Akanji, after that mistake, he played amazing against Bayern. I thought he had a very good game as well, and then made a massive mistake, and that's all us fans will probably remember. But yeah, you could see Akanji as soon as he saw the goal, he collapsed. It's tough, man. Mistakes like that, they can happen, but we can go forward, man. We can go forward. But we're gonna wrap up the stream today with this last one from Luca that says the next BVB manager, Josh. I mean, that'll never happen, but I appreciate it. Now there's a couple other questions. I saw Zach. It got my attention. As an American, he'd be perfect for Dortmund. He's a top 4 player in Canada. He's my second favorite. Plus, he's got a 50% chance of developing into a piece that Dortmund can sell. Yeah, and again, I'm not even being biased. It's the type of profile that Dortmund looks for. Huge upside with the North American market in Buchanan. He can play a variety of different positions. He is still young. He's not like Davies, though. Bayern brought in Davies, and he just rapidly grew. 22 is a little bit older. I think Buchanan needs to make the move now, but he fits what Dortmund need. And come on, I should just try to get some way, shape, or form to Dortmund. Be like, watch him. I've tried tweeting them. I don't know if they listen or not, but yeah, I don't know, man. We're gonna have to see. 22 is young. It is, but it's not as young as I think some teams would prefer when taking that risk. They prefer maybe if he was 19, I think he'd have been snapped up like that. It's not huge. 22 is still young, but I do get why some teams may may kind of question it because it is a little bit older, but I still, for 4 million, he's a steal. But we're going to wrap up the stream there for you guys. It was a very nice transfer one. A quick, I guess, little wrap up is that Delaney's probably going to be sold to Sevilla for between 6 and 7 mil. Haaland seems, if you're going to ask me, where do you think Haaland's going to play next year? There's a good chance it's going to be Madrid. It does seem like that's an opportunity for him. They have agreed personal terms, but again, this is football. Changes by the day. We'll have to see. Halstenberg could be an option if maybe Schultz leaves. They might flirt with it, but in reality, like I said, I don't think Halstenberg will come in unless Nico's sold, which I don't think will happen. And Vagnoman, of course, is the right back that Dortmund is finally linked with. The 20-year-old kid riddled with injury. So, not overly ideal, but if no other players come in, guess what? Us Dortmund fans got a right back. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to drop a like on the way out. Subscribe if you guys are new, and we will talk to you guys soon. Cheers, friends.